Welcome.
Hello.
I'm Coach Wolverine. This is Coach Kelowna. This is another conversation over drinks. Today we are partaking in some sort of weird
Super sweet soda.
cream soda thing that I found in the international section that's full of a lot of sugar.
So
It's very, very sweet.
yeah, it's nuts sweet. So we got to talking before the video today, and there's something we really want to touch on, and we felt like it's super relevant with kind of everything that's going on right now. There's a lot of polarizing stuff. There has been for a long time, but we just want to touch on how important perspective as an individual, or like to each individual, and how it works, and just touch on a few things that hopefully, and I know it's helped me a ton and Dill a ton as well, allows you that little extra second when you're getting in a conversation with anybody to help bring it to like a better place.
Absolutely. So, have you ever heard the term, the grumpier you are, the more assholes you meet?
Yes.
So when you hear that right now, what does that mean to you? What's the first thing that comes to mind?
Whatever you put out there, you're gonna get back.
Aha! Yes! Now, the reason why this was so pressing of a question for me this week was the fact that I had seen a video where, I can't remember her name, unfortunately, but there was a woman that she was asked a question as to what would be the most important thing that she had heard in her 20s that she could pass along to somebody else. And what she had said was the most important thing that she could have been told was that life does not revolve around us solely in particular. Now, I'm one of those people, I like going through the comments. I like seeing the feedback of what people are saying, right? I think I find enjoyments in this, and all I seen in this was hate. So much hate. People being like, this is bullshit, this is not advice, this is not motivating, like this page is going downhill, blah, 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 blah. And so I made a comment. And on this comment, I had said that this video isn't for everyone, and it'll resonate with those whom it needs to resonate with. And I got attacked. Like, let me tell you, I got attacked. People did not like reading this. But this is the main point I want to make with perspective. Your truth is not the truth. Your truth is not the truth. It's a hard pill to swallow. I guarantee you, I know some people are going to hear this and be like, well, what are you talking? Yes, it is. No, it's not. It's your perspective because it's your truth. Am I right?
Yes.
All right.
When we were talking, there's one thing that I've always kind of just been like, so Dylan has opinions, perspectives. I have opinions and perspectives that we obviously believe to be right, and we act accordingly. And that goes the same for everybody. That's unilateral. Everyone has their own feelings and opinions on stuff. There's no opinion that holds, like, that is higher than someone else's in regards to, like, an individual. But it's also completely impossible to hold an opinion or an idea or anything, but at the same time believe that that opinion is wrong, if that makes sense. So you can't believe something and at the same time know that it's not right. So
did you guys catch that? I think you got to say that again for the people in the back.
So you cannot believe something that you know is to be wrong. Because if you believe it, obviously you have to believe it. Otherwise you're lying, and that's a whole nother disaster. But the whole thing with that is if I'm having a conversation, or especially a conversation or an argument or a disagreement with someone, what they think is correct and what I believe is correct to me, or my truth, as Dill called it, and their truth is their truth. So understanding that no one's opinion is coming from a place of like looking at how do you believe that? Well, that's wrong. it's right to them, and that's where the conversation has to start. You need, like, why is that the way they feel, the way they think, the way they believe? There's so much more to it, and we're not even willing to get to that point, I think, is the biggest thing. Like, when's the last time you got into a disagreement where, like, hold on, why is this happening? Instead of things escalating to the point of where it's like posture.
It's been a while, unless I was the one to say, wait a minute, hold on, let's take a step back and look at this from more than one perspective. But 9 out of 10 conversations that I have, unless they're with you, are very one-sided, biased, opinion being the key thing in that statement, because I'm sure you've heard the saying, opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one, doesn't mean you want to smell it.
So my question for you is, when you end up in a conversation that is clearly polarizing, at what point do you deem that a waste of your time?
I think the only way I can answer that is it depends, because it depends on who I'm talking to and what kind of energy they're putting forward. So if I can continuously talk to somebody and at least get little nudges in there where they can kind of at least take a step back, maybe not sway them to a broader perspective, but at least, like, I look for facial recognition, and I can see it in their eyes, or whether or not they want to admit it or not. I can see when the little light bulb goes off. So yeah, I don't have a definitive, but I do know if a person's just like, nope, this is the way, this is it, then I usually just shut down the conversation and usually change it. Just like something, the weather, or how them Jays doing.
I mean, out of respect for both my time and theirs, when it gets to a point where sometimes, like, it happens to me where I've made up my mind and, like, I'm just maybe not ready to have a conversation about whatever the topic is or whatever. There's nothing that says that every single conversation you have about an opinion is the right time for you to go and find a new opinion. Obviously, we want to build towards that because that's growing and learning and everything. But that's not going to happen 100% of the time, unfortunately. But the biggest thing that I think is you never want to get malicious and get attacking. Like, when you start going on offense with opinions, all it does is make you look like a dick.
Okay, so back to the question you asked me. So I guess my first tell would be is when I start responding from a place of emotion. That's when I know the conversation's done. Because then I'm not thinking with my logical decision-making brain, I'm thinking with a reactive emotional brain, and nobody gets anywhere effectively basing decisions and conversation on emotion.
So what benefits could happen? If you get to an emotional place, what benefit is the conversation going to be for anybody? None whatsoever. So that's a massive thing. If there is nothing either side can take away from a conversation other than some posturing whatever where you go and talk about how so-and-so was a dink in the comment section, right? Like, and there was no good, like, benefit out of it other than just to say, hey, I ran into another dick that doesn't agree with me. It's like, why? It's natural for us to go looking for confirmation to the way we think, the way we feel, the way we believe things, because we want to be right, and we all want to be right. There's no one wakes up in the morning and says, I hope I'm friggin' wrong about everything today. Like, it just doesn't happen. But we can get to a place, and I think, like, I'm pretty stubborn. There's certain people that I talk to that you could ask and say it's not really stubborn, but getting to a point where you're more willing to hear other sides because you understand, like, every time you're in a conversation with an opposing idea is a chance to learn something.
Yeah.
Which ultimately, super. Yeah, I'm freezing. But no, like, I could honestly talk about this all day. I know is there any other main points like you want to touch on today?
I want to leave one point here to allude to another conversation in the future. Is when we are in a certain perspective and a belief about something, there's a law that starts taking place, and I call it the yellow car law. And how that works is when you take notice to a yellow car, you start to see yellow cars everywhere, right? You find a vehicle that you really like, you've never seen it before, all of a sudden you see it everywhere. When you hold an opinion about something, you will find resources to support whatever your opinion is through your self-conscious, not even by choice.
Which
we all do this. This is human habits.
It's not a fault of anyone else.
No, not at all. But there is so much more deeper that we can go into that on a later. But I want to leave off on this statement. When it comes to opinions, the only way a fact is a fact is if everyone agrees on it. So if somebody disagrees with you, that means neither of your points of views or our points of views are absolute factual.
Which is totally okay, but as long as you come at a conversation with respect, there's a good chance either you or someone else can learn something, and then at least you can take away something from a conversation other than wasting everyone's time. And I think that's what we want to stop doing, is wasting people's time. And we think we're not wasting time because we are going to change minds and stuff, but like, it's not how it's done. You have to.
We can't go into a conversation with the goal of changing somebody's mind. If we go into the conversation with the goal of broadening our own perspective, talking to them and listening to hear and understand, not simply respond, your life will change drastically. But I'm freaking cold.
Man, this was way better when we had warmed.
Yeah, I'm done. So that's all for us tonight, guys. Please
catch us again.
Like, subscribe, share, YouTube, Instagram. We love you guys. Thank you for the feedback so far. It's too damn cold.
Fire us a message if you want to have a conversation.
Have a good night, everyone.